What is up, guys? Random internet person here, back for take 2, hopefully, in the F-5. I tried to stream yesterday, and had another one of those pesky memory crashes back to desktop. Didn't have enough time to give it another go. So we're back in the airplane. I talked about a lot of things before we did crash, and the biggest one was some of the aerodynamics of swept wing design, and precisely why that's kind of a particular challenge for the F-5 and why it makes it difficult to fly. Let me get it started again, and we'll talk about those things one more time. Let's go. Ground crew, ground air supply, connect.
Chief, connect ground air supply.
And we're going to do a battery start, so let's go. Battery, gens,
Copy.
master, caution,
Ground air
reset,
supply is
begin.
now connected.
Now we'll have them apply the ground air supply.
Chief, apply ground air
Just
supply.
going to start engine number 1 first.
Copy. Air is now applied.
Looking for 10%. Starter engage. 15, 20, and we'll do fuel. There we go. Left gen light is off, so we got power from the airplane. And we'll do one more ground air supply. Apply for
Chief,
engine number
apply
2.
ground air supply. Copy. Air is now applied.
Giza, no. Alright, there's 10%. Engine number 2 start. Deutsch, what up? Whoa. So San Francisco, are you speeding up time? That's a long flight. Probably forgot to fuel boosters here. Let's go left, imbalance, and external fuel. 2 good starts. All the cast lights are off. Ground crew, ground air supply, disconnect.
Chief, disconnect ground air supply.
Speed brakes up.
Copy. Ground air supply is now
And flaps
disconnected.
2 auto. Pitch, yaw damps, chaff flares. Sounds like I'm in a toilet block. That's rude. That's what you sound like. Am a little hungover. Actually hung out with people in real life yesterday for the first time in a while. Super fun. Shout out to Captain McGingerbeard, DJ Helo Pilot, and Mad. What's up, dudes? Super fun. Alright, so real quick, so one of the things that we have with swept wing designs, and why these are important, particularly for fighters, is it reduces the shockwave, or kind of postpones the shockwave when we're getting close to the speed of sound. What happens, we talked about how an airfoil works. Air moving over the top of the wing moves faster, which reduces the pressure, which causes the pressure differential. So you've got high pressure below the wing, low pressure above, and that's what generally creates lift. We have something called a critical Mach number, which means that as we start to approach the speed of sound with the airplane, the air moving over the top of the wing is already moving faster than the speed of sound, which creates a shockwave, basically, and drag, and then the airflow behind it separates. So a trailer, like a wing that is swept like this, pushes back that shockwave, so reduces drag, but at the same time, it has some negative performance characteristics, and the biggest among those is, let's say, for example, in a straight wing plane, we're flying at 350 knots. For a swept wing plane, we could have that same sort of performance. We would be flying at 400 knots in a swept wing plane with the same drag profile as one that's flying at 350, but it also means that we're reducing the amount of lift we create. And with the F-5 in particular, because the wings are very small and swept, they do not produce a lot of lift. So we need higher angles of attack at lower airspeeds, which means that we bleed energy like a stuck pig. And we'll see that. So what I'm going to do, we're going to fly off to the east. We're currently off the west coast of Abu Dhabi. And we're going to go try to engage some MiG-21s, not get shot in the face, fly to the merge, and then you will just see that energy just go bye-bye. Hello there, man. What's up, Zach? Thank you and welcome. Oh, you fixed it.
Rolling.
So another thing that's interesting about this is, again, since the wings are small and create very little lift, on takeoff, we'd have to have a little bit of a higher rotation speed. And rather than using our horizontal stabilizers to deflect and create some of that rotation, what we're actually going to do is extend the nose gear, which you'll see in a second, which is going to give us a positive angle of attack without deflection of the instrument. So we're going to reduce drag and still have positive AOA. So it's going to reduce our takeoff speed. Negative, no can do. Deleted it for now. We'll put it back on a hard drive. I'm ordering a new one this week. Something that 2 terabytes internal SSD. Once I get that back on, yeah, absolutely. Let's get these guys on. 305 for the wingman, and I'll keep him on there for a minute. Once we get airborne, I'm going to tell him to cover us, and then we'll switch over to AWACS, because I need all the help I can get. I am indeed in the F-5. Cool little wing flex animations while we're taxiing. You did what? See, we kind of talked about this. I mean, you guys are all about FS 2020. I don't think it's that great. I mean, it looks great. It's not particularly exciting to me. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with you guys enjoying a good FS 2020. VR, no, we are in using track IR. My computer probably could not handle VR at these graphics levels. Alright, let's line it up, make sure our wingman is holding short there. Probably true, but again, you know, I would like to wait for the full functionality for instrument flying, because I don't really see another reason to fly those flight simulators if not for instrument practice. I'm just not particularly interested in VFR point A to point B flying. Anyway, so watch this. Here's our normal profile. Let's extend the nose wheel, strut. So that gives us a positive angle of attack without having to actually deflect the horizontal stabilizers, which would create additional drag. Make sure we're trimmed for takeoff, +6. Setup, computer or HOTAS? Yeah, I've got a HOTAS, but it's a cheap one. It's a T16000 with rudder pedals. Not the best thing in the world, but it gets the job done. And to navigate back here, we're going to be using a TACAN that I've set up, portable TACAN, 75 X-ray. And I'll leave it turned off for now. Hanging out with your buddies is why. However, I've been trying to get you guys, I mean, Melon has DCS, you had it. You just don't want to play it. There's other ways that you can hang out with your buddies. You just want me to hang out with you in FS 2020. Let's go. Power set. Temperatures and pressures are good. Airspeed's alive. 100 knots. 150. There we go. She's flying. Tap the brakes gear. I am. That's called a displaced threshold. Get that nose down, and we'll do a climbing left turn. So in that situation, those white arrows in front of the runway end marking means that it is a displaced threshold that you can use for takeoffs but not landings. If the lines were yellow, you would not be able to use it for either taxi, takeoff, or landing. We are in the air, boys. I generally leave the flaps in auto too. which gives you a little bit of extra lift at slower airspeeds. But again, that's one of the things that contributes to that loss of energy that we're going to see. Oh yeah, wait till we get up in these clouds, bud. It is the Persian Gulf. We'll probably see little bits and pieces of it poking through the clouds here as we go back to the east. So I'm just doing a climbing left turn. I'm going to wait for my wingman to take off and rejoin. See if we can see him down there. He is in the little turnaround area on that displaced threshold too, so he should be getting rolling here in a minute. I can see his taxi light. These are AIM-9s too, but this is this is the latest version that's available with the F-5, but it's still kind of a precursor to most of like the AIM-9s that we're familiar with from other aircraft in DCS, like the M or the X. So its performance isn't quite as good as those ones is, but it gets the job done. What I don't want to have happen, I want to go to the merge. Yeah, it is one of my missions. We're going to cruise out to the east. We're going to go try to tackle some MiGs. I can't actually remember what the designation is. I think it might be a Papa. Something like that. Alright, he's rolling. What I want to do is try to fly it past the merge so we actually get a little bit of a dogfight going on. So you can see how hard this thing is to fly in a dogfight. Get the radar going to standby, and we'll just turn on operate. It's an E3. We'll try to stay around 15,000 in between these cloud layers for now. Really fun airplane to fly, but it's difficult. It's particularly difficult to land because, again, we're talking about the reduced amounts of lift that these little tiny wings create. It means that we have to have a much higher approach speed than you do with other aircraft. So usually we're going to be around 150 or more knots, which is why we've got a drag chute. Just as big as a MiG-17. I'm just trying to think of what was a contemporaneous fighter. Time and cost, I guess. And I guess that would be a MiG-21, which is what we're going against. So they've got Fox 2s as well. Like I said, hopefully we'll be able to get past the merge and just not take a missile in the face, so we can actually get a little turning with them. Up on 15. And waiting for a wingman to join up here somewhere. It's true, but basically the F-5 is mostly used, I mean, its ground attack was good compared to the F-100, which is kind of when it was introduced. But then as a fighter, it was more of a cheap, low-cost export that we used. I mean, I doubt that it was used as an air superiority fighter anywhere, because if those were in service with the F-4 and the F-14, those would have both outperformed it. Middlejet. I'm too old, dude. They won't let me. I'm good where I'm at. Been enjoying the flight teaching. Flight instruction's been fun. Everything, it's true. Everything does outperform it. It's a fun jet to fly, and I understand why it's a trainer. And again, I like flying things that don't have fly-by-wire. And I keep saying, like, look, every time there's another sale, I'm like, next time there's a sale, I'm going to get the F-16, but I'm just not that excited about it. I don't really like fly-by-wire airplanes. They feel weird to me. Even though this one has pitch and yaw dampers, it still feels pretty good. I mean, feels like, you can actually feel it like an airplane. You know what I mean? So there's some of the Arabian Peninsula, Abu Dhabi down there. It's maneuverable as long as you maintain a high energy state. As soon as you get down below 300 knots, it's hard to maneuver. And in fact, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we're pretty much going to be doing full deflection of the horizontal stabilizer after that first turn. Once the energy's gone, it's incredibly squishy. Even with the auto flaps, you'll get a little bit of maneuvering ability from those, particularly at lower airspeeds, but it's hard to maneuver, and it's hard to get the energy back. So pretty much the only thing that I would do if I was going to fight this is boom and zoom. Try to get a cheap shot, a cheeky shot head on with a Sidewinder, and just keep the afterburners plugged in, get some distance, extend, and then try it again. I'm not going to be turn fighting with anybody. Where's my wingman? There he is. So let's tell him, flights, cover me.
Flight, cover me.
And we'll switch this to 251 for AWACS. 090 for 150, and we're pretty much on that heading. 20,000, let's get above the clouds then. It is, in fact, one of the liveries that comes with it is the MiG-28's livery from Top Gun. So if you ever get back in DCS and you get the Tomcat installed, we can do some dogfighting. So I remember you trying to dogfight it, just ripping the wings off it, so I might actually stand a chance against you in the MiG-28. Oh, I guess you have it installed. If you ever get back up, get it updated. Yeah, just repainted it. Although, wasn't the MiG-28 in the movie the two-seater? Is that right? Yeah, this it looks a little weird because this is a single-seat variant, not the two-seater, but. Still heading 090, almost co-altitude. If we're at 20,000, we'd be right in that cloud layer, so I'm gonna keep climbing a little bit. It's a U.S. Navy, but it's an aggressor squadron because they use them, I guess, as OP-4 to simulate enemy aircraft. So most of the liveries that come with it, I think, are that OP-4 livery. Let's see the U.S. Navy. Also for my buddy DJ Helo Pilot, who's a Soviet tech nerd, loves Russian airplanes, comm block stuff. Even when he flies the F-18, he flies that aggressor livery, so he still has the red star on there. Freaking nerd. Master caution, fuel tanks are empty, so let's dump those. Bye. See ya. tank and pylons gone. Safe, off, turn that off, get the wing stations ready. Dang, these clouds. It's made dogfighting against humans really fun. Flying 1v1 BFM stuff, guns only in clouds, is pretty awesome. Let's get some more bogey dope here.
Overlord 1-1. In field 1-1. Request bogey dope. Infield 1-1. Overlord 1-1. Bra 0D3 470 at 35,000 knots.
Still pretty much on course, 083 70 hot, so their nose on. Their radars are not on at the moment. Still got search, let me dismiss this master caution. One weird thing about the airplane is that I think the right wing, the right tank has more fuel than the left one does, so you always have to start this auto balance on the left. So once we get rid of the external tank, which we did, we'll turn that off. Now it's rebalancing the tanks. Looks like we're now off the east coast of the peninsula, so we're over straight here between, what is it, Jordan? Or whatever. The Arabian Peninsula and Iran.
Enfield 1-1. Overlord 1-1. Bra 0D5 450 at
085 for 50, so the range on our radar is about 40. They're at 35. Let me get a little bit of pitch.
Enfield 1-1. Overlord 1-1. Bra 0D8 480 at 20.
Alright, so one, okay, this is actually good. So there's two of us. There's one who's leading at about 50 miles. The other one's in trail 30 miles behind him, which is good for us. Oh, definitely gonna have to use all the fire I can get once we get merged with these guys, when I can see them. If they're at 35, they should be marking. I should be able to see them from pretty far. Let's get back on that heading. Let's go. Master. Guns, missiles, camera. And missiles. Not the most information on an aircraft HUD you could get. Even the oh, there he is. Even the Tomcat has more information than this. You guys can see him right there, contrailing. Let's go. Turn and burn, baby. All right, like I said, I want to try to merge with him, get into a fight, and we'll just watch all this energy disappear. I got a tone on him. 20, got lock. His radar is on. Oh, whoa. I think my wingman just smashed him. Yep. Or did he? No, he's still alive. It looked like so. Oh, no, there he goes, breaking apart. So that's full aft deflection right now. I'm already at 210 knots. Lost all that energy, even diving. That's crazy. All right, well, one dead. Let's get some of this energy back. Jeez. So his buddy should be... I See, I don't know if that over there is my wingman or not. Alright, afterburner, descending right turn, still sub 300, and I'm not even half deflection. Just do a pass and make sure that this is my wingman. It is an F-5. I know, I should just tell him to RTB. Let me get back on his frequency. 305. Flight, go to RTB.
RTB.
Alright. There's just one more out here. And what's AWACS 251 again?
Overlord 1-1. In field 1-1. Request bogey dope. In field 1-1. Overlord 1-1. Bra 08843 at 30,000.
Alright, we're almost co-altitude. He's right. In fact, I see him right in that reticle. Afterburners need some more power, boys. Can we get a lock? He's contrailing now in the reticle. So afterburner's now just coming up on 350 knots indicated, just no power. Alright, got him on the radar. We're going to try to go through the merge and see what happens. Start dumping some flares just in case he decides to launch one. 380 knots. Through the merge, he's going over the top. Let's go. Now, full aft deflection right now on the elevator, and I can hear the freaking drag. It's getting really squishy. Airspeed 220. Can't see him. Fox 2. And splash. Work is going good, man. I've been enjoying it so far. Gonna be full-time after next week. Phew. That was fun. Some new damage, smoke, fire model. Get some of the speed back. So you can see just that first turn, I mean pretty much 100% control deflection there just to keep the turn going, and by the time that I got the nose on him, there was just no energy left. So really, I mean, if I was doing this the smart way, let's get us back to base here. 75 X-ray, transmit, receive. If I was doing it the smart way, I would have launched one at him to get him nose off and defensive on the merge, extend it out, and then try to reacquire him. But I mean, it's hard to keep eyes on him. I'd be interested to fly this, you know, against the F-14A. That might stand a chance. Master off, HUD off. Alright. I heard the tone from the TACAN, but I'm not getting anything on the HSI right now. Yeah, except for today. I mean, I had 3 flights scheduled today, and it's just like storms. So the good thing is I make decent money when I'm flying, but at the same time, if you get a day like today, or if you get a week, God forbid, where the weather is crappy, just make no money. It's feast or famine, you know? But the flying part's been fun. I like teaching. Obviously, did that for a long time, and teaching people how to fly is pretty awesome. Yesterday, though, there was a kid who, I don't know, it's a kid. I keep calling him kid, but he's actually an adult. He was doing his first solo flight, and I don't know if it was him. I mean, really, there we go. So we got the HSI working now. There's our TACAN. Let's get inbound course set. 272. So we'll come in on the 092 radial. So this kid, or this guy, he was doing his first solo flight. It was really busy in the pattern. I went up with another student and went out to a different airport. And when I came back, there was another guy who was supposed to have that other airplane for a check ride, but he was waiting for ours, and I asked him what happened, and he told me there was an issue with that plane. And apparently the engine cowling came open, the right engine cowling came open on its last pattern. He declared an emergency, and it ripped, I guess, like 4 inches of the aluminum at the back of the cowling, dented the front of it. It was just a huge mess. Which, I mean, look, the instructor, buddy, you gotta, always follow behind on those pre-flight checks, make sure those cowling latches are, like, secured properly and stuff, because now, I mean, I don't know if the FAA is gonna come and get involved or what, because he declared an emergency, but we'll see. Glad he wasn't my student. Let's see, 84 miles, and we're getting pushed off course, so it looks like we got a crosswind. So I'm going to do a little wind correction. Oh, you can actually see the airplane being pushed sideways. I am living the dream, baby. This is the fastest that we've gone the whole flight. 450 indicated. I wonder if Melon would still be bored flying like this. Because I mean, even before the clouds and stuff, I like to put things kind of far away, because it's, for one, it's realistic, it's immersive, but two, now with the clouds, it actually makes the cruise in between those spots pretty fun. Getting to play around in these guys. Hopefully I will in due time. Now I know 3 guys that are flying jets at some of the, like 2 of them are working for a medevac company basically, and the other one does charters. So hopefully once I get there, I have enough hours and experience, I can get an in with one of those fellas. That's who I was hanging out with last night, and they're super fun. My instructor got moved up to the Lear 35. Melon is bored at everything. And he's boring. I'm way off course. So yeah, my instructor is flying the Lear 35 now. The other guy I was talking about, DJ Hilo pilot, he's on the Lear 45. And the other one, Citation XLs, I believe. feel like I should dump this missile just because it's kind of triggering my OCD for symmetry. Also getting a little bit of yaw. Reeve the ocean. Maybe I can't. Whoa. Did it shoot? Whoops. Well, that's one way to get it. Problem solved. Alright, where are we at? 42 miles, getting back on course, kinda. Didn't even know you could just dumbfire like that. I had the safety switch cover closed too. $35 miles. Yeah, it's true, although landing this thing is about as tricky as it is landing on an aircraft carrier. Isn't that what John McCain did? Accidentally shot off a missile on the deck of a carrier that caused a giant fire. Was that on the forestall? Look at how small. The wings are just comically small. Later, dude. 25 miles. Let's find a hole up here. Gotta remember your safe cloud clearance, guys. Certain altitude above 10,000, cloud clearance, 1,000 above, 1,000 below, 1 mile horizontally. We're just gonna eat it through this hole though. Whee! And tack in that way. There she is. Now we're kind of perpendicular to the runway, so I'm gonna do a right downwind or right pattern for runway 8, I believe. He most definitely did. He got away with it because his dad was an admiral. Also does not carry much flares. I think there was like 30 or less. Those are all gone. He's back. Zach's back. Zach attack. You didn't miss anything. We're just RTB, dipping in and out of clouds. Man, DCS 2.7 is so much fun. The clouds are so much fun. They make it feel like a different game. Alright, let me start slowing it down here. Altitude at 2,000. Let's keep it there. like I said, it gets really squishy at low airspeeds. So we're going to land at probably 150, 160-ish, and we'll pull the chute. Alright, we're doing a wide right pattern, runway 8. There, see if our wingman's down on the ground. Looks like it. Flap should be coming in here shortly. So once we get into this sort of flight speed, again, because the wings are so small, particularly without flaps, I mean, I've got a lot of aft trim right now just to keep us at a level. It just starts dropping. So there are flaps, give it a little power, gear. Midfield, right downwind, runway 8, full stop, winder, barrow winder. Roll flaps are out, 200 knots, gear down, 3 green. And I believe they would land with the speed brakes. I'm going to go ahead and put those out too, just to help us slow down a little bit once we're on the ground, and I want to keep it about right here. Let's go right base. These planes too, small wing, swept wing fighters. And this one, oh dude, my guy right there, he looks like he's on final right now. Alright, we'll just extend out here and slot in behind him. They have this tendency at low airspeeds, once you start to get close to the stall, like that, the airflow is separating on the back of the wing, which creates a nose-up tendency, which just, it feels, there's a lot of stuff going on here with landing. It is a very weird plane to land. There's the wingman. He's going to have to back taxi too, so I'm going to do a right 360, or left 360. Look at that AOA. What are we at? 10 degrees? Or 10 units? Gained a bunch of altitude somehow. I'm fine with that. I'd rather come in high in this plane than low. How we arrived back here at the same time that our wingman did, considering that we stayed and fought another one. Guy took his sweet time. Alright, dog leg, right base, runway 8. Hopefully he's going to be clear by the time that we get lined up. I can't see him. to get a really high sink rate. I want to be sub 1,000. Let's try to get on speed here. Kind of hard to see the runway with the glare too. Coming up on it. Need, I think, 15 degrees. Shoot. Flaps up, weight on wheels. See if we can make this turn around. He's still on the middle of the runway. That should have been a go-round, guys. Unsafe. Get rid of the chute, please. There it goes. One thing that I'm curious about, we probably should have the pitot heat on, because I think temperatures at the surface are 20 degrees, definitely would have been above the freeze or below the freezing level in some of those clouds that didn't get any sort of instrument icing or anything, but I wonder if that is modeled. I wonder if I stayed in those clouds up at 25,000, if we got some pitot icing. May have to do some science later. No problem on wing clearance for this little fella. Let's go. IFF is off. Pitch, yaw dampers off. Radar's off. Let's go. We got our tach hands off. Radio, turn that off. And fuel. Battery. Leave the gens on. Fun little airplane, but like you guys could see, as for dogfighting, man, it is an energy fighter, I guess. It's definitely not a turn fighter. be curious, kind of interested to try to fly this against an actual other person. There's a couple guys that will do some BFM contests with. I'd like to try to stream that someday because it's pretty fun, pretty intense. It gets your heart rate going, but this one would be an interesting one because I just can't see a scenario where I'd be able to beat them in pretty much anything other than another F5. I need to learn how to do some of the ground stuff. I can deploy the bombs, but not very accurately at the moment. I guess just like a lot of era fighter bombers. Pretty cool though. Like I said, I like flying airplanes that don't have fly-by-wire systems, things that you can actually feel. It is hard to fly, it's hard to land, and it's hard to fight, which I like. Just the fly-by-wire stuff, like the F-16, F-18, feels too easy. It feels arcadey, you know what I mean? Get her parked, bud. We gotta take a team photo. Not over there. What are you doing? You're fired. You're off the team. That's rude. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out. Zach, thanks for the follow. Dudes, I'll be back soon. Hopefully, there was a little patch yesterday, and I was really hoping that the Hind would be back out. I haven't done any helicopter stuff in a while. I've kind of been waiting for the Hind to come out. I've got a mission that I made. I'm just going to switch out the Hind with the client player flyable one when it drops, and I'm going to be flying that a lot. Super pumped. Hopefully that'll be in the next week or so. They said the end of Q2? I'm bad at math. Whatever it is, whatever they said stacks up with the end of April. So hopefully, yeah. The Avro Arrow. Yeah, hopefully we'll have the Hind within the next week or so. Fingers crossed, and if it does drop, it can be back as soon as possible doing a stream with that. Until next time, boys, again, thanks, Zach. Thanks for hanging out. Deutsch, we love you. Malin, you're a jerk. All those other guys hung out with last night. You're all freaking beauties, legends. Guys, peace.